If you're a freelance videographer and you're not making the money that you deserve, then you're probably making one of these 7 painful mistakes that can kill your reputation and drain your bank account. If you avoid just 2 of these, I promise you'll be on the road to landing more high-paying clients that love what you do and are easy to work with. So let's dive into the 7 mistakes videographers cannot afford to make. Trust me, avoiding these will change everything. So the first is what we call scope creep, and that's not defining clear project boundaries right from the start. It's failing to outline the exact deliverables and timelines, which can lead to endless revisions and doing extra work without extra pay. And most filmmakers are guilty of this because they have the fear of pushing back onto their client and formalizing things. We try and keep things quite loose, and actually sometimes by writing stuff down feels like we're making it too formal. So filmmakers avoid that step, and ultimately that leads to a big problem where you're doing extra work and simply not getting paid for it. It can also be used as a great tool to refer back to. So when the scope of work changes, we can go back to the client and say, yep, no problem, we can do that for you, but there's an additional charge because it's not what we quoted for in the initial scope. And they'll have that as a reference. So it makes a really clear defining point where this is what we agreed for, that's what the price is, and this is what you're asking for now, and that's what the price is for the additions. So the clients actually don't see this as a friction point. They see it as a very clear understanding of what they're paying for. I'm going to be transparent here. This is something that cost my business tens of thousands, and if I had implemented this sooner in my journey, there's no doubt I would have got to where I am much quicker. Next is not setting payment milestones. I wonder how many of you wait until you've completed the project to then invoice or send a request for payment. The problem with waiting until a project is complete to get paid is it leaves you with a real cash flow problem. And when you're trying to grow your business, you might be really busy with work, but yet you don't have the money coming into your account. And if there's one thing that kills businesses quicker than anything, it's the lack of cash flow within their business. Profit doesn't even come into the question. If you don't have the money in your account to pay for your bills, it doesn't matter. So cash flow is king for a successful, thriving business. Now, before we move on to the other mistakes that videographers cannot afford to make, can you do me a favor? If you're new around here, can you please make sure that you're subscribed to the channel? It tells us we're doing a great job. We put out content for free to help videographers and video editors like you grow their businesses to the next level, because you can't have all of that fancy equipment if you don't have clients willing to pay you for your services. And that's what I've dedicated this channel about, is to help you grow to that next level. So the least you can do is smash that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Let's get on with the video. Through the Perspective Academy, which is my online mentoring platform for filmmakers, one of the most common mistakes that I see people make time and time again, and that we discuss in our Q&A sessions, is actually the failure to ask for referrals and testimonials from otherwise extremely happy clients. A lot of filmmakers don't leverage their happy, satisfied clients to help them generate more happy clients who are willing to pay for their services. It's such a quick way to grow any business, because if I trust someone, I'm going to trust the person that they're referring me to. So if you can get all of your clients to refer you to at least one other client, then you've doubled your business literally overnight. And even simply collecting testimonials is a way to help you attract new high-paying clients into your business. And all you need to do is ask them one simple question on camera, and that is, what is your experience been working with us? By sharing these on social media builds up the social proof that you deliver on exactly what you say you're going to do, and that will in turn attract more people who want to use your services. Now, the next mistake I have made many times, and it has cost me so much money, and that's over promising but actually under delivering. Sometimes I've been so eager to make a sale that I've said yes to everything. They've asked me, Ross, can you also do a website for us as well? I've said yes, because that's more money, and the more money means actually, yes, we can grow our business, we can buy more equipment. And that's something that saying yes to every client, you have to realize has an impact on deliverables, deadlines, and also quality. If you're doing everything, you can't be doing everything good, which is why we made a decision a few years back just to solely focus on video production, because that is what we are really good at as a business. We don't want to get into creative ads, and we don't want to get into all of these other different areas, websites, social media, all of that stuff that we can do, because ultimately what we do is video production and video editing, and we do that really well. And that means we can deliver a much better service, much higher quality, and to a much sooner or tighter deadline, And we can charge more money for it because we are a specialist in that field and our clients know that. And look, I get it. It's really easy to say to a client, yeah, I can do that, when you're not sure if you can do it or not, but they're asking for that type of video or they're asking for this thing from you because you want to keep them happy. But there's so much power in saying, no, I'm sorry, that's not something that we do, because we know what we're good at. The person in a sales negotiation that has the most to lose has got the least amount of power. So if that's you because you're so desperate to make a sale, then it doesn't put you in a good position. What puts you in a good position is saying, look, we do this really well. That's the type of work we do. I don't know about that. That's not something that we would undertake. I can help you find the right person though, or I might know someone. I can certainly ask around. But by saying yes to everything will ultimately lead to you under-delivering. And again, doing extra work without the extra pay. And this leads nicely on to my next tip, which is underpricing yourself. I've worked with hundreds of filmmakers all across the world, and there are many people who are just not confident in their pricing, and they are amazingly talented, and they're just not charging enough for their services. As well as I've worked with lots of people who are overly ambitious and are charging thousands for their services, but actually aren't delivering a very good quality product. And both people are struggling because the people who are charging too much but are under-delivering aren't getting the quantity of work through, and the people who are undercharging but over-delivering just aren't getting the numbers through the door to be able to scale their business. I'd love to know in the comments, by the way, where do you sit? Are you one side or the other, or do you think you've got it just right? Not knowing your value and where you sit in the marketplace can really hurt your profitability and also your professionalism and how other people look at your business. And that's why it all comes down to perceived value. The higher your perceived value, the more clients are willing to make for it, but you need to have the evidence to back that up. So perhaps try things like case studies, testimonials, client reviews. All of these things, along with analyzing your competitors, will help you know where you should sit in the marketplace. Tip number 6 is lack of processes. A lot of businesses, when we start out, we don't really know what we're doing. We're just winging it. We're just kind of, making some sales and we're getting some referrals and we're just doing these bits of work. And we don't really have any solid processes. Sometimes having a structure and a system can feel really restricting. It doesn't give you the ability to just flow about. But that's actually so far from the truth. By having lack of processes, you don't have an easy workflow that actually makes your life a lot easier and a lot more efficient. And what happens is when we don't have this, is we don't become efficient and effective. So then things take a lot longer. And again, we end up just working harder than we need to. It's always about working smarter than it is harder. So think about this. When you go to McDonald's, you don't go to McDonald's because they sell the best burgers that you've ever had. You go to McDonald's because you know exactly what you're going to get. Anywhere in the world, you pretty much know what that burger and those chips are going to taste like. And that's because they have a process, a structure and a system that their business uses wherever they are in the world. And we can take learnings from that and apply it to our own production companies and our videography businesses by simply looking at the process that a client takes from when they first meet us on a discovery call right the way through to delivering the project with them at the very end, and that repeat business that comes at the later stages. Because again, if we're neglecting those client referrals and those future projects, we'll always be stuck in this cycle of working with a client, back on the hunt for a new client, making a sale, working for the client, back on the hunt for a new client. And that's really costly. Why don't we just use our existing clients to be leveraging more business, but also see what more projects that we can provide for them and more added value that we can give them. Because if we can add more value to their business, they're going to keep paying you for your services. Now, finally, so many videographers neglect marketing and client acquisition, relying solely on word of mouth to grow their business and not having a clear strategy to consistently find and sign high-paying clients on a regular basis. One of the things that we implemented early on was a retainer system, which we call the RCP model, and it stands for regular content plans. And it's how we take new businesses, we sign them onto 12-month contracts, and they pay us regularly every single month. By doing this, it means that overall we need to make less sales because they're contracted to us for a year. They're high ticket, so it covers our cash flow issues. And we can rinse and repeat this process time and time again in order to scale our business really aggressively to reach those new levels. And if you want to know exactly what we say in our emails to new clients to get them onto one of our RCP systems and sign them up for a 12-month period, then I'll leave a link to our free training workshop in the description below. It's around about an hour long, so make sure you give yourself enough time to join that. But it's stacked with heaps of value. For instance, how to use AI tools to generate leads in the first place, what to say in emails, how to automate that process, and more importantly, what the RCP system is and how it can transform your business. I'll leave a link in the description below. Make sure you join that workshop if you're serious about growing your business to the next level. And if you're new around here and you're still not subscribed, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. Until next time, peace.